Alright, welcome to the video. I'm going to show you how you can change the material on an object through scripts in game. So using UI. So I've just got my third person controller here. This is from Unity Starter Assets, and I can walk over to the closet and change what material is on my character. So green, blue, whatever. These two models are from Kenny Game Assets. I'll have a link in the description because they're all free assets. And just a quick side note before I start, you have to have a collider, so I'll just go and show gizmos so I can show you this. You must have a collider on your player object, and you also have to have a collider on your interactable object. And I'll just show you the script setup that I've got here. So I've got my interactor script that's on my player, and on my closet here I've got my closet script, which is attached to the closet UI, which is in this canvas here. It's pretty simple. So I've got my scripts folder, and I'll just show you how I've got this set up. I've actually made an interface. So when you're making an interface, you need to delete class and replace it with interface, and then you need to delete mono behavior on the end here. And this is just so if I wanted to have multiple interactable objects, I could just have, see in my closet, I've just got that in there. And in here I've just got interact text, and transform. So I've not set up UI for interact text, but I do have it in my closet because the interface requires you to have this. But I've not set up UI. If you want to have UI when you go close to your object, you could just have that to appear. And then on interact, it's going to do open closet, and when the closet is open, it's going to take the UI and set it to active. So I'll just head over to my interactor script, which is on my player. And in the update method, we're just checking if so this is E for me, E to interact. Some people have it as F or Q or whatever. And this is in the update method, so we're always checking if we're interacting with something. And it's just going to take the interactable object and then interact with it. And this stuff here is just how we find the interactable object. So it's going to use colliders for that. That's why I did mention you have to have a collider on your player and the object. I've got here a float that sets your interact range. So if you wanted to be really close up to your object, you could set this like 1 or something. I just have it as 2 because that's good enough. But so that's just, you can just modify that in the script. And it's going to use colliders. It's going to take the closest one, is what this does. So it's going to measure the distance between all the interactable objects, see which one's closest to the player, and it's going to just set the closest one to the interactable object. Now I'll have a link to my GitHub in the description if you want to copy and paste it, or you'll just have a little scroll through here and you can just write all this down. You can make some changes to it or modify it to whatever fits you. But once you've set that up, you want to also make some UI. So I just hit 2 for 2D modes and F to focus on my UI. And in here I've just got red button, green button, blue button. Essentially they all do the same thing, so I'll just show you how one of them works. So you can see here on click, it's just going to take the character skin mesh render. I'll just show you. So character object, which is this for me, skin mesh render, material, and that's going to set it to whatever material you want. For me it's blue because this is the blue button. If you're not seeing the skin mesh render, you need to go to your actual player object here and then add component skin mesh render. So I'll just deactivate this and go out of 2D modes. Alright, so I just want to show you one more thing quickly. You see here my camera is straight on my player's head, and when I go in the UI, I'm moving my cursor around and oh no, my camera's not straight anymore. And that's because when I'm in the UI, I'm still moving around my camera. If you've got the starter assets, that's a really easy fix. You can just go into the player camera and you could set the speed to 0 when you're in the UI, so just slow the camera down when you're in any user interface. Also, another thing is my cursor is unlocked when I'm playing the game, and it's also unlocked when I'm in UI, so I'll just run over here, so it's always unlocked. If you have starter assets, this is really easy to fix. You can just go into your player starter assets, cursor locked, and you probably want it locked when you're playing the game, and then unlocked when you're in UI, so you could actually navigate through user interface. If you don't have a starter assets, that's also a really easy script to set up. You can just add that into your interactable things, so when the UI is set to active, you could just also set your cursor to active. And that's pretty much it for that. I will make a separate video on how you can change the actual object, the actual model of a player. But that's it for this one, so yeah, goodbye.